fans. Are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Ohgren? Brave the Wild is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps and, of course, also on the Hockey Podcast Network. I thank Dylan and Kyle for having Brave the Wild on board their awesome network coming out of Vancouver, British Columbia. The Minnesota Wild played only 2 games this past week and are going into that Four Nations tournament. It's already basically gotten going here. 2 games against the Eastern Conference, basically Carolina Hurricanes, New York Islanders, and won them both. So that's always a good thing, good way to go in the break. And it's like, doggone it, so much for that and a little momentum. No, just kidding. Upcoming, just for fun, I'm not going to be previewing any games today. Detroit twice. So Detroit on the 22nd of February. That's the next game. And 2 days off again. And then Tuesday, the 25th of February, hosting Detroit. And I think that's on ESPN, unless it's just the general. Yeah, I guess it's on ESPN Plus all the time. And then that's it. So I'll be previewing 2 games next week. So reviewing 2 games this week, previewing 2 games. I don't even know if I'll be previewing 2 games next week. It's the week after. Yeah, interesting. So, yeah, that's how this is going to go. No, I will be previewing 2 games next week. Today's the 12th already, so my head's all mixed up. So it's kind of like in the past. So, yeah, it'll be an abbreviated show, 2 segments. So I'll probably get into the DraftKings pretty quick or somewhere in the middle. I don't know. We'll see how I'm going to figure that out. But it's going to basically be right here. We're going to look at the we're going to talk about the 2 games, look at the prospects, and then I have the fan interaction segment. That's it. And then next week it'll be previewing the 2 games, looking at the prospects, and fan interaction. So I'm going to most likely keep the show going. Unfortunately, a little bit of life stuff happened this weekend. It's not the end of the world. It's nothing great. It's not good, but it's not the end of the world. But it's kind of getting in the way, and that's why I'm recording on Wednesday this week. And we'll see what happens next week. Maybe the whole thing will be concluding next week, we'll say. It was a fender bender, okay? It's a fender bender, basically. And, bringing the car in officially bringing the car in, got everything, going, just got to bring it in, because that's when the parts will be there, or at least they're supposed to be, Friday morning. So I kind of had to push the 2 shows back. This one and Timberwolves Explosion back a day. And then next week we'll see. Might be a similar situation. Who knows? Or maybe I'll have it back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which would then, not affect this show or Timberwolves Explosion. So that's the reason for what's happening. And, well, it's a good timing for an abbreviated show as well. So I could just kind of get going. And, but still doing the show because I love doing the show. And I love hearing from you as well. Let's get to the games now that I've babbled enough here. Minnesota Wild host the Carolina Hurricanes and actually win a home game. It took 20 years, but they won a home game. Awesome. They actually went up 2-0. Gus was absolutely unbelievable. And it was Blurry Creatures line again, basically. For the most part, Zach Bogosian getting his 8th assist. Merit Huznadinov with actually a really nice pass to the blurriest creature of them all, the Sasquatch, Yakov Trenin, who usually plays really well when he's been scratched the day before. So you know what I think that John Hines might want to do in the future? Okay, Yakov Trenin's in. Up, he's scratched. Up, he's in. Up, he's scratched. And then he'll be one of the best 41 game players of all time, basically. He'll have like 30 points in 40 games, or 40 points in 40 games, because I'll show you son of a, and then the next 10 games he's, I got a point or 2, if that. Oh, but he does the little things though, see? He does the little things. Yeah, I know. He does a lot of little things, I'm sure. So little you don't notice them. Yeah, exactly. Vinny Hinostroza scores a goal just like that. It was awesome. It was early in the 3rd period, so his first game with the Wild, and he scores. Kind of like maybe Tom Kelly putting a Twins player in for the first time, called him up from AAA, home run or whatever, or makes a spectacular catch or something, but maybe hits a home run or whatever. That's cool. So it's kind of like that. Vinny Hinostroza was put on waivers previously by, was it Nashville? I do believe. And then wound up with Minnesota. We just love Nashville players, I guess. And then I guess after, just yesterday, Ben Shore was put on, Devin Shore. I just called him Ben Shore. Devin Shore was put on waivers because, let's just say my brother's father-in-law said, Dave Kostick said, we didn't, he was pretty much invisible here anyway, so fact, yeah, very much so. It is what it is. He's one of those, quad A players, basically. A pretty good AHL player, but not an NHL player, basically. Like, you bring him up to the NHL, 20 games later, you might see a point or two, maybe a fight or something, who knows, depending on the type of player the guy is, depending, the quad A player is. So it is what it is. Miroslav Nadinov of late is looking more like an NHL player than a quad A player, so that's encouraging. He's showing some little flashes, some little signs. That pass to Jakub Trenin was pretty awesome. Kind of timing it and the release on the pass. It was a great pass. So very encouraging. Miroslav Nadinov generally has been great in the face-off circle. Was not in this one, though. Gosh, what was he? Like one win, 5 losses. So the Wild were actually dominated in the face-off circle for the most part, and this one is pretty crappy. Freddie Gaudreau's the only guy who had a winning percentage. 8 wins, 6 losses. Drew Larsenek, 8 wins, 12 losses. Oh, well, Matt Boldy won the face-off. He only had one, but he won it, so that's great. Rossi, also 4 wins, 7 losses. I know it's spectacular to know. Sebastian Aho, 14 wins, 6 losses. Jeez. So they definitely had puck possession, did the Carolina Hurricanes, and they got a lot of shots on goal, didn't they? But a certain goaltender was freaking awesome. Philip Gustafsson with 37 saves out of 38 shots, and the goal was pretty late by Carolina. Fredrik Andersson looked like he had a stop, but the puck just kept moving. When you're kind of lunging down for the puck, hoping to stop it with your back or side or belly, and it just kept going. And all right, cool. That was, I believe that was a Spurgeon goal. Nope, it went to Vinny Hinostroza. So it gone to Hinostroza. It was officially thought to be Spurge. Wound up being, Vinny. My cousin Vinny was able to score. Yep, he is no, he's not. I don't think he's a lawyer either. Telling the judge about the 2 Utes. But Sebastian Aho finally, best player basically, finally able to get something past Philip Gustafsson with less than 3 minutes remaining. Seth Jarvis and Andrei Svechnikov also getting his 21st goal, 21st assist. Seth Jarvis with 22. Sebastian Aho with his 19th goal. Spurgeon and Brodin factoring in. Brodin returning, which is like the greatest thing ever, and I'm not kidding. Returning, so it's wonderful. You get Spurgeon and Brodin together again, my friend, just you and me. Yes, believe me. Factoring in on the Hinostroza goal, but again, more importantly, you got a defensive core that looks pretty good now. Brock Faber, Jake Middleton, Jonas Brodin, Jared Spurgeon, Declan Chisholm, and Zach Bogosian. Apparently, John Merrill got into it a bit with our friend Mr. This was on Thursday. This was during the Paul Allen show. It was like Vox in the Box type of thing. That's what he calls himself, the Vox. Paul Allen is the play-by-play voice of the Vikings. He also has the Paul Allen show on KFAN, noon to 12 for the last, forever, going back to 1998 when it used to be with Jeff Dubé as well, before he had off the mic incidents take place in 2008. Unfortunately. So what's going on? John Merrill was getting into it with John Hines. Like, why am I being scratched? Basically, that's, whatever. He's kind of going at it. They were going at it a bit. So Merrill was scratched. Unfortunately, he wasn't happy about it. Hardman's in his suspension. Travis Dermott on the scratchy-datchy deal again. But a solid win for Minnesota against a very, very good hockey team. The Minnesota Wild sweep the Carolina Hurricanes. Impressive. The Wild still have a pretty good record despite some stinkers this season, especially at home. Wild actually lost both of their road games in the month of February. So go figure. Opposites attract, right? That's what they say, I guess, supposedly. It didn't work out for me necessarily so great in the past. Well, we'll see. Anyhow, they lost both of their road games, despite the best road record in the history of hockey, supposedly. And then they won both of their home games, despite the fact it's like, like the Wild at home is like summer in San Francisco. It's like, this is summer. It's like 60. What's going on here? They always say the coldest winter is a summer in San Francisco. The worst, I don't know. The worst home team is the Wild. Yeah, the worst road game is a home game in Minnesota. Yeah, exactly. That's about the same kind of thought process. Minnesota Wild host the New York Islanders, and it was kind of a mess. It was sloppy. The Wild did score the opening goal by Marco Rossi with his 19th goal of the season. Mr. Matt Boldy had a strong game. Jared Spurgeon with his 13th assist, opening up the scoring, and next thing you know, the Islanders are up 3-1. It's like, what's going on? Possible future Minnesota Wild, the big giant Brock Nelson with his 17th goal of the season. Mr. Ironman himself, knocking on wood, was, as I say that, Palmieri and Anders Lee also scoring. Anders Lee and Mr. Brock also connections to Minnesota, if you didn't know, like 20 times already. But the Islanders up 3-1, and it's like, yeah, here comes the Minnesota Wild at home. It's the same old story, same old crap. And then you had a furious rally that just absolutely was furious as it gets. The Wild would score 5 consecutive goals. It was about as loud in the arena as you could ever imagine. Not that I was there, but it was loud. It was loud as a son of a gun. What am I looking at here? It's not making any sense. I'm looking at some kind of typo here. Matt Boldy with his 19th goal and his 21st. So where was the 20th? What's going on here? He didn't have a hat trick. He had several points in the game. What was it, 3 points? Matt Boldy. So great, awesome performance by Matt Boldy. He looked like the kind of guy who, could be one of the best players. He could be either the best or second best player on your team, and a guy that you needed so desperately to step up because of the absence of number 97. I think we all know who that is. Merit Huznadinov with back-to-back games with an assist or a point, which to some people might think, back-to-back games with a point. It's Merit Huznadinov. Okay, so the fact that he is doing something, you feel really happy about that. So, not trying to be sarcastic or rude or anything like that, or it's great. I'm happy for him, man. So I'm also happy for Marco Rossi, who's already got a career high in points at 47 compared to last year's 40. We were all happy about that last year. Rossi's just a single point behind Matt Boldy, which again tells you 2 things. Like Rossi's really been taking that giant step forward is legit, and Boldy, well, maybe he needs to if Boldy's so great, he needs to maybe get going a little bit, that kind of thing. Because you think of Boldy as more of a scorer than Rossi. But, he's not too far behind, is he? Devin Shore departs for Minnesota, 34 games with the Wild. At least he's been put on waivers. We'll see what happens in 1 goal and 2 assists. So basically, again, like Mr. Kostic said, very, very invisible. Merit Huznadinov suddenly now at 7 points. Now, I know it'd be like, a guy's played 132 games and has 4 home runs. But yeah, at least he's got 4 home runs now. He had like 1 just a couple of weeks ago. It'd be like that. So nice to see Merit Huznadinov with 2 goals, 5 assists, and the assists look pretty good. He's still 22 years of age. Again, maybe he'll have that Jules Eriksson Ek scenario where it was like, man, that's it? What the heck? That's all Ek has done this year? Of course, with the injuries, too, and there's that. But remember those years in the past, 29, 30 points, not terrible. Not terrible, but it's like, when is this guy going to take a step forward? Well, even before that, even the 29, you felt semi-good about it. 15 games, 7 points. 75 games, 16 points. Back in 17, 18, 16 friggin' points. And then in Iowa, he was a point-a-game guy. It was like, going down to AAA and cracking that bat, hitting some homers, and getting that batting average up. And then again, he's back to batting about 198 and got 3 home runs and 14 RBIs in like 100 games. Like, what's going on here, man? Jules Eriksson Ek in 19 anyway. Long time ago. Okay, just kidding. Yeah, 2018 and 19. No, Thomas Jefferson is not president. I'm sorry, I'm just in a joking mood all the time, aren't I? 58 games, 14 points. See, it's like stuff like that. I mean, it's a little better pace than the year before, but yeah. See, I mean, that's kind of, maybe he's going to take that approach. Maybe he's going to take that scenario somewhat, Mr. Merit Huznadinov. So the hope is he'll continue. Because I can imagine Huznadinov in AAA, or AHL, pardon me, which is AAA basically, putting up the numbers. I can imagine it happening, but it's been NHL or KHL. No AHL, but maybe you might want to go and get that batting average up. So there is that. But he's starting to get some hits, we'll say. He's starting to pick things up a little bit. So good for you, Merit Huznadinov. He's also just a -2, which isn't all that bad for a line that's blurry creatures. They don't score nothing. Jakub Lauko is, a blurry creature too at times because he's always hurt. I mean, he's missed how many games this year? Like 23? Damn it. He's actually pretty good, and a lot of people like him. He's quick. He's coming out of Prague, out of the Czech Republic, and he's only 24. He's a nice player, but he is definitely a bottom 6 at the bare minimum. Obviously, Chicago, Illinois native Vinny Hinostroza. Well, yeah, he is what he is too. He's bottom three or AAA, that kind of thing. Travis Dermott's only played 9 games with Minnesota, and he's even, so he isn't a minus. Good for him. Okay, that's where the Ben comes in. Devin Shore and Ben Jones. Which one got let go? Was it Ben Jones or Devin Shore? Okay, Ben Jones is in Iowa, I guess. Yeah, he's actually been pretty productive there. Yeah. Why does his uniform look like the... Okay, Calgary Wranglers, yes. So that is correct. Yep, the Calgary Flames organization, basically. The Grapevine. Yakov Trenin, he's definitely a blurry creature. He's Sasquatch. Marituza Dinoff would be like one of those little people, I guess. No offense. I'm not trying to be rude or whatever. But yes, Trenin Sasquatch. Marituza Dinoff would be like, see those mythical little people. And then he's not that little, though. He's 5'11", so he's not that little. And who's the other one? Who's the other blurry creature? I guess, it could be any of those guys at the end of the day. Like, obviously Ben Jones, Devin Shore, guys like that, historically. So one of the blurry creatures, I think, is gone at this moment. Vinny Hinostroza, definitely. There was a sighting of him recently as well. He might be the gray alien or something. But yeah, he's a blurry creature. I don't think he's a Nephilim. He's not big enough to be one of those. That'd be more like Xenos Shara. That's a Nephilim. 6'9" Nephilim giant right there. So we'll move on. I don't think Shara's evil, though. So that's the good thing. Getting a little bit blurry on you here. I apologize. But it is what it is. What do you expect when there's no games coming up? So, yeah, you're going to get a little blurry creatures talk here. We're going to talk about the Nephilim. We're going to talk about Mount Hermon. And, okay, sorry. That'll be for the Mysterious Creatures podcast. Yeah, I've never heard of that. No, it's some new podcast out there. Mysterious Adventures, not Creatures. Foligno, another, he's blurry a bit at times. Another empty net goal for Foligno. But, again, at the same time, as you might kind of chuckle at that a little bit. Yeah, great. Another empty netter. Is that all you can do? Well, the good part about empty netters is it ends the game. So at least he did it. There were, what was it, like a game against Colorado that we should have won, that we didn't score an empty net goal years ago in the postseason. And then Colorado did score to tie the game up, and we lost in overtime. It was a playoff game. So, yes, score your damn empty net goals. And Marcus Foligno, thank you. Appreciate it very much. What's his total this year at points? Yeah, he's only got 21, yet he's like that high up. Gosh, what is he, like the 8th leading scorer on the team? Crazy. And 6th in goals with his 10th goal. Man, that's fun. That's freaking weird. That's funky. That was the word I was going to say. I wasn't going to curse. Kaprizov again, unfortunately. So we'll see. We'll see. We missed him desperately. So Boldy has 20 goals. It wasn't 21. That was the typo. And, of course, you don't go from 19 to 21. So, yeah. Liam Ohgren, yep, stuck still at 4 points in 19 games. But, obviously, there's been flashes. There's been signs. You can clearly see there's something there. Kind of like, the first couple of games here with, that first season when we traded for him when he didn't score it. Like, really worth a dang. Kevin Fiala. I do see some similarities. Obviously, they're different players. And I understand, like, Kevin Fiala is actually like this, and Liam Ohgren's like that, different players. But, at the same time, there's similarities with the smooth play. Clearly, there's a skill set there that is pretty special. So it's just not translating into big numbers yet, that's all. So that's always pretty cool at the bare minimum. So I think right now might be a good time to get to DraftKings. Well, actually, no, first we're going to name the awards for this episode. I can't believe I'm 19 minutes in already. That's weird. Babbling too much. What's his name? The winner for this episode is going to go to Matt Boldy. Great job. Great job overall for Matt Boldy. Yakov Trenin, well, I can't give him a negative award. I don't know. This is a tough one to really give out a negative award. I might forego that for this episode. Certainly not going to Huznadinov. Chisholm, I can't really, he wasn't terrible. He's not anything special. Generally speaking, the injury bug, it's extremely frustrating. I don't want to pick on a guy that just got waived. I don't want to pick on him. That's mean. And what expectations are there going to be anyway, that kind of thing. So I will forego the they deserve to be given a break here when it comes to any type of demerits here. Going 2-0 at home, great job, guys. Yes, so really much appreciated. So with that, I'm going to hop right into DraftKings right here and now. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? What are you waiting for? You better get on it. Super Bowl 59, which just happened, which was awesome. And yeah, go Eagles. That was great. Yeah, I did hint at who I was cheering for the whole show. Fly, Eagle, fly. And that was awesome. I loved it. Not everybody agreed. Super Bowl 59, the last time to play NFL Pick 6 this season, so that was the end of the NFL, but you can jump into the NHL as well. Officially daily sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like no one else, so of course you can do NHL on there. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Select 2 or more players. Choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns or goals or assists and all that stuff, and more. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos, that is. And we are back here on Brave the Wild. Yeah, so I was kind of, obviously I really appreciate DraftKings in so many ways. I hadn't left anyway. I was just saying we're back to jumping into Brave the Wild, I suppose. No previews to look at. Let's just hop right into the what do they call them, prospects. So no babbling about the upcoming games. You're probably like, yes. I want to look at Philip Lindbergh. I'm just curious. Yeah, he's up in Liga, 2.54. Have you ever heard of the Lindbergh? Ever heard of the Lindbergh baby? Yeah, man, I like Lindbergh. We could probably use his help about now. I always and I was always fascinated that Nikita Nesterenko's played some NHL games, but he's one of those guys. He's probably going to spend most of his career in the AHL, but at least he's played some NHL games. I'm kind of seeing the same for Beckman. Yeah, Bugga. He's actually having a pretty productive year, though, but Bugga is, that's Australian slang. Sorry. Choking on myself again. It's like my voice is better, but it's like I have a dry cough for the last 50 years, and it's annoying. And it really is, to say the least. The page completely disappeared on me, but it's right back up again. I just had to press back. That was weird. I don't even know what the heck. I don't even want to look. Let's look at, Damon Hunt, watch. 11 points in 26 games. Quickly, move. Ryan O'Rourke, and you're hearing conversation. Yeah, he's probably not going to make the NHL, and people are sad and disappointed about that. That he was probably a miss of a pick, and I always remind people that he was actually taken ahead of Brock Faber. So we could have just taken Brock Faber straight up there and maybe gotten somebody else, like another prospect in the Kevin Fiala trade. Wouldn't that have been something? You to just flat take Brock Faber. You just draft him, and there you go, instead of Ryan O'Rourke, who is, what do they call that? Just, I forget what the word is, just kind of wallowing around in Iowa, and it's really sad. 22 years of age, his career isn't over yet, but it's not doing great right now. He's a -7. Definitely better than last year, but it's a baby, such a baby step. It's a microscopic step. 33 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. For the Pickering, Ontario native, Carson Lambos, thank you very much, 9 points still. 41 games, 4 goals, 5 assists. And yeah, the Iowa Wild got butchered this past week. Didn't they lose 7-2? And it was just, it was really ugly. Spacek got his 20th point. Good for him. 4 goals, 16 assists on the season, but still a -13. Toporowski's a +7. Amazing. the Iowa native. 7 goals, 8 assists, right? I mean, I wish it was 18 for his sake. That'd be nice. Juracek still at, well, no, he did get his 4th assist, so that's good. Not very productive in the points, though, in Iowa for number 11 down there. Four assists in 18 games. He's a -4, which, again, could be worse, but certainly could be better. Jack Pert, only 2 assists in 32 games for the Grand Rapids, Minnesota native. He's only 21, so, again, his career ain't over. But, oh, boy. I mean, there's not a good vibe in Iowa. I mean, there is not a good vibe in Iowa. It's not good. It's not been good. It's not been good, and it is not good. Did Liam Ohgren just get sent down? I think he did, didn't he? Oh, maybe they did that now because of the break, which is actually pretty smart, I think. Like, yeah, and I'm sure he doesn't mind the idea of playing a bit more rather than just kind of lounging around. So that's actually kind of smart, actually. I like that. Maybe they talked it over and all that. Yeah, he was sent to the minors, and Devon Shore was waived. Yeah, Liam Ohgren was sent down in the 9th. So apologize for my ignorance for that split second. But then it's like, yeah, of course. He's the kind of guy you want to play, maybe build some confidence and score some points in Iowa. Boy, they could use the help. 12 goals, 11 assists, 23 points in 25 games. So, again, he's pretty damn good at the AHL level. Again, hopefully that can translate to Minnesota soon versus Iowa, kind of like it did with Marco Rossi, only 20 years of age. Hunter Haight also, he's okay. 11 goals, 10 assists, about half a point. Yeah, it is half a point. 42 games, 21 points. Caden Bankier, similar, but a -15. Hunter Haight's a -9. Bankier is a -15. 21 points in 45 games, but age 21. Spacek, 20 points as a defenseman. That's pretty good. But again, the minus is not the best thing you ever saw. Michael Milne is now a -15. What happened? Man, it's just a negative vibe. Negative in Iowa. It is not good. It just feels toxic to me. And I don't like saying that. I mean, you don't want to think about your minor league affiliate being toxic. And I don't think the coach is toxic. But something is, like the old conversation with the Bill Guerin many years ago, where he said, like, what's the issue? Like, why are we not winning? Like, something in the culture, and it needs to change. Yeah. That's kind of what's going on in Iowa, I think. Something is in the culture down there that something's wrong. Like, something's wrong, something's missing. So, and it's a damn shame, to say the least. What is Kyle Masters? Yeah, what did he? Yeah, he's in Iowa as well. He's been on the Heartlanders, and, well, he's even in 17 games. That's good. 1 goal, 4 assists, which is nothing spectacular in 17 games. Had only 2 points with Iowa Wild earlier this season. Danila Urov, again, minimal minutes down there. Oh, over there, not down there. Across the pond, as we say. 44 games, 12 goals, 12 assists, 24 points, but a +14. Still looking like an elite player, but again, less minutes. Then again, in a lot of ways, we can thank them in a way, even though it's not good. It's not good. It's mean. It sucks. But it's maybe less minutes, less likely to expose himself to injury, I guess. I know that's paranoid and weird, and it's the dumbest thing ever, but yeah, okay, I said it. Jimmy Clark, stuck at 14 points. He's been in a drought there, but the Gophers have been winning at least. They sweep Wisconsin recently, so that's great. And I think a break lately, that's again another reason. 29 games, 14 points, and a +16. Awesome. For the left winger there, Caleb Pauker, Victoria Royals at the time when he was drafted, but now with the Calgary Hitmen, love the name for the most part. 30. He's a right shot defenseman. 18 points in 30 games, and he's a +28. Awesome. Aaron Pionk, Mr. Duluth, Mr. Hermantown, Mr. Hockeytown. Well, that's Detroit, but you get the idea. In the high school world, I would call Hermantown Hockeytown. 2 goals, 18 assists, +20, or 20 points, and a +10. For Minnesota Duluth. Yeah. No, he's even. I'm looking at his penalty minutes. What an idiot. Sorry. So from a -9 to even for Duluth, and again, they are better this year, if you didn't notice. Yes. Riley Height, again, had a pretty strong week this past week. 25 goals, 41 assists, 66 total points in 43 games. Again, behind last year's epic pace, but still, looking promising. We'll see how things go long term. Kompalainen in Liga, 37 goals, or 37 games, 11 points in the major leagues there. He's played some minors as well. Charlie Stramel, again, they were on break in college, still at 30 games, 9 goals, 15 assists, 24 points, and a plus 13 for the number one team in the country. And I keep hitting the wrong button. Oh my God, that's annoying. Yeah, it pulls up the Firefox menu. Stupid Joey. But yeah, good, nice again, gargantuan step by Mr. Stramel. Les Cavar, 16 games, 1 assist. But at least he's finally played a game or two with, he's had some injuries. Chad Woodsky, again, 5th round pick this past year. Everything is down from last season, everything, so that sucks. Last year he was under 3 goals a game. This year he's almost at 3.5. So this is a goaltender, of course. 19 and 10 last year, 15 and 22. Obviously makes a difference when you're losing games. So just not as good of a team there in Red Deer. Save percentage of just under 90. Last year was just over 90. So the save percentage hasn't, obviously, it's not much of a difference, but it's still a difference nonetheless. Stoliani, who's played some pro and some minor, mostly minor, I would say, down there in, over there in Finland. It's not down. 1 goal in 9 games for the pro level. I'd like to pull up something if I can, humanly possible, and I should have already had it up. Just wanted to make sure about something as well. Like Kumbalainen, yeah, he's pretty much been at the pro level. That's why it's so many games. Whereas Stoliani, he's going to be in some junior. So he's he lives under 20. The under 20 SM Sarja. 5 assists in 9 games. I think he's been missing time as well. So it's been kind of weird and random. And in the World Juniors, he had 2 games and nothing happened. International Junior. Yeah, World Junior Classic, he only played in 2 games. Otherwise, the International Junior, Finland under 20, 11 games, 3 points. So Stoliani definitely, I'd classify him as, I think he's a stay-at-home defenseman. I think so, yeah. But usually a lot of these Finnish players, they don't score jack bleep over there. They just don't. I remember Koivu years ago. It'd be like 40 games, 8 points. Like, what the hell? Regardless of what you think of Koivu, it was like, what the heck? That's it? This would be Mr. Kiviharo. Is it Kiviharo, right? Yep. Kiviharo, Aaron Kiviharo, everybody's favorite guy. In Liga, that's the major league over there for Finland. 40 games, 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. And he's a +3. That's good. International Junior, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points in 11 games. So that's kind of how that's going. He's mostly been in Liga, so good for him. But playing in some of that International Junior as well. So, yeah, there's this, there's that. He was pretty productive in the World Junior Classic, 7 games, 3 assists. And I always bring it up again just because it's, you want to see how they play in those type of major event type of situations. So, because it's exciting. Ryder Ritchie, Canadian. Yep. So, looks like he's, 39 games, same as last week, 42 points, 21 goals, 21 assists, +6 versus a -1 last year. And the big boy, the number 1 prospect in the system, Steve William. Yep, still big numbers. Again, not like last year, but he's been picking it up again. Yeah, yes, he has. He had a big week. Big week. Didn't he get the award? So, or no, I think he finished second. I can't remember. Or that was last week, maybe. Yeah. 26 games, 6 goals, 26 assists for 32 points, a +11. So, good job. Steve William, can't wait to see you in the Christmas colors or the North Star colors, one way or another. North Star colors are my favorite, personally. But it's all a mixed opinion type of thing. With that said, we're going to take us a quick little break and come back for fan interaction already. We are back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 2 in this case, normally 3, fan interaction segment. Yeah, off in the background, you think Buffalo blow a 4-0 lead to the Colorado Avalanche. Just brutal. Come on, Buffalo. Don't you want to see Colorado lose this game? Oh, God, come on, Buffalo. How could you not pick Buffalo like it's a team you'd rather see win? But anyhow, enough. The last episode, get rid of the get rid of him list. Yeah, that was fun for the most part. It maybe could have been a little better, but you know what I mean. It is what it is. Hope you did like that one. I really appreciate all of you that have retweeted and shared it. I appreciate it very much. It means a lot. Real quick, opening these up with a at Grease assist. Derek Velska coming in here with a poll. Again, I need to keep back to doing these again. They're fun. They help the show. They really help. Like look at all the comments. On man, that's a lot. So good for him. Derek says, how does the news that the Athletics Scott Wheeler is rated the Minnesota Wild's prospect pool #2 in the NHL? How does that make you feel? Plan the Stanley Cup parade route. A good sign. Hopeful. Wild screw it up somehow. Believe it when I see it. Guess what I picked? Can you guess? Can you guess? As a skeptical Minnesota Wild podcaster since 2008, I'll believe it when I see it because Riley Heidt. Let's see. The brakes have been pumped a little bit there. Jesper Wallstedt looking like the greatest prospect of all time for goaltender. Well, not so much. He's averaging almost 4 goals a game in the AHL. So, no, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know. Lambos, you know what I mean? He's okay. This and that. I mean, Iowa sucks. Iowa sucks. I said it straight out. The fans do not agree with me. A good sign, hopeful. So, yes, plant Stanley Cup route. Well, we'll get to that later. A good sign, hopeful, 58.3%. Yep. #2 was mine. Believe it when I see it. Only 20.2 though, so it's way, way, way behind. Third place, Wild screw it up somehow, just about 12%. And to plan the Stanley Cup parade just under 10%. Hopefully that's a little sarcasm because I don't know. You do have Yurov. You do have William. Isn't there another big one? But I guess Ohgren. Ohgren's technically, but he's already here, kind of, sort of. So again, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm skeptical. Sorry, I'm skeptical. So I wonder what Derek stands with. I'm thinking Derek's in the same route. He's probably a little more on the skeptical side too. That's my guess. Wild screw it up somehow. Maybe not quite that sarcastic, but it is what it is. Again, I was gonna have something about the Yeti again, but it's probably just the Utah Hockey Club again. Maybe I could still do that, but then get Wild related again. So might be annoying people if I'm just talking about Utah. I'd be like, why is that? Anyhow, hashtag BTWMN when you comment for the show and you want it read on the show and we have our conversation here. Hashtag BTWMN, include that in your tweets. That way I can just click on, I can type that in and press latest, and then everything will be in chronological order, making the show easier and more organized, which is nice. Now looking at, that's from September. Whoops. So we don't really want to do that here on Brave the Wild. Leading things off, and here we go. So looks like Jay Bushy's batting 9th this time instead of leading off. So he's doing the Greg Gagne route instead of Dan Gladden or Shane Mack. So that's okay. Greg Gagne it's like the other leadoff hitter, basically. That's what they always used to say. 9th is actually good. So he'll be wrapping the show up rather than starting it. But here we go. The Derek Velska lightning round hath returned. Yes, sir. The lightning round, here we go. Should Minnesota Wild fans be annoyed that Jules Eriksson sat out of Minnesota's last game against the New York Islanders but is participating in the Four Nations tournament? Yes, a little bit. That is kind of annoying, a little bit. I get it. You want to play for your country. I don't know, why not play for Minnesota? I'm glad the Wild emerged victorious. I think we'd be even more annoyed if, say, that one went on to be like a 3-1, 4-2 loss. 5, something stupid like that. The Wild don't get their third goal. Then the third goal never comes, and New York gets an empty netter or something, or 2 empty netters. It's 5-2. It would be despicable. So that kind of eases things a little bit, but at the same time, it's still, I think they have a right to be annoyed a little bit. Next, according to reports, U.S. viewership of NHL games has dropped considerably. Great. Well, it may not be yet everybody wants to watch basketball players do their load management BS. And it's not like I hate the NBA. I do Timberwolves Explosion, but believe me, I've ripped the NBA a lot on that show for stuff like that. A lot. If you ever want to listen to an honest NBA/Timberwolves podcast, that's one for you. Again, sorry. So the viewership has dropped considerably. Well, it may not account for people watching through other streaming services, so that's interesting. Should this be a big concern to the NHL or just another example of hockey being a niche sport? I don't know how do I answer that one. I don't think it is a niche sport. I really don't. I think it's a sport that should get more love and attention. And obviously in the postseason, you're going to get paid off every single time for the most part. Obviously there's some years where it's going to be a sweep like Detroit and Philadelphia years ago. The teams that just don't belong in the finals like that. I say that Florida Panthers team back in '96. I might be annoying Michael Russo of 1 in a million chance he's listening. That Florida team that went to the final and got obliterated by Colorado. Yeah, I mean sometimes you'll get like a lame final, but usually the postseason doesn't disappoint. Generally speaking, like the final might suck. So I don't know. I think hockey games are pretty good. I mean, obviously you're going to get junk. But then maybe this Colorado Buffalo game, you go from 4-0 to 4-4. I mean, that's pretty good. But it's pretty good hockey. So I don't know. It's frustrating. I think they should be concerned, maybe annoyed a little bit. Like I don't know what it is. Like yay, Luka Doncic is on the Lakers now. You know what I mean? That figures. It's like, oh, where's Otani gonna sign? The Dodgers. Bleep you. Go away. Just get lost. Why can't you sign with like the Padres or something? Why can't you sign with the Brewers or something? Like, why does it always have to be the Dodgers or the Yankees? It's so boring. It's ridiculous. It's dumb and stupid. Anyhow, but then again, I guess every sport's kind of that way. Marian Gaborik, New York Rangers. Ooh. It's so stupid. It's so annoying. So that's a turnoff probably in every sport for the most part. So yeah, I kind of got going there. It's frustrating. It is. It's frustrating, generally speaking. I don't know why they're down so much, honestly. I don't. I think TNT's doing a good job. I like the ESPN coverage. I'm not sure, but is it because some of us are watching it on like ESPN Plus? Like a lot of those games, those outside games. Like right now I'm supporting them, you could say. NHL Network is flashing and silent in the background. And the Colorado's up 5-4. It's just, Buffalo sucks, man. Why do you got to choke like that? Anyhow, next question. Do you think the Minnesota Wild reacted with a trade deadline, or do you think they will stand pat since they don't have any cap space? They'll probably make one move, one. Like I'm just going to say one. As for what it's going to be, I think they should stand pat. Unless they can dump somebody. Unless they can dump a Ryan Hartman, but good luck with that. That's the only trade I'm looking at right now. I think they should stand pat since our prospect pool is number 2, apparently. Well, yeah, open things up for some of these prospects, especially if they are NHL ready. Open things up. Obviously like a Devon Shore being, just simply put on waivers because he wasn't doing anything, with all due respect. And guys like Hartman, I think they hurt the team more than help. Foligno, he'll score an empty net goal sometimes, and he'll give a guy a dirty look and curse at him. Yay, that's exciting. But I mean, he does more than Ryan Hartman though in terms of everything pretty much. Hartman was a factor in the scoring years ago, but that was then, and this is now. That really was. So I think they make one move. I'm guessing. I'm praying that they don't overdo it. But then again, maybe you unload a prospect or two that's you just don't have a good vibe. Like a what's his name, Ryan O'Rourke. Maybe it might be something minor like that. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be kind of more along those lines. Like give him a chance to try it somewhere else. Because like it or not, as mean as this sounds, things are toxic in Iowa, man. I think Iowa, it's toxic. I mean, that could almost be the title of this episode. Things are, Iowa seems toxic to me, and it's frustrating. It really is. What's this all about? Next one. Here we go. In many RPGs, players form a party, often for like Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy IV is actually 5 people. Final Fantasy VI. Yep, that one's only, or is that 5? I think that's 4. Like Sabin, Terra, Cyan, Cian, whatever, and Sabin. Oof, that's a tough group. Maybe I'll do a review on Video Game Flashback someday. Right now, I'm working on Final Fantasy Adventure, where it's kind of like a classic Zelda style, not modern. Nope. Anyhow, in many RPGs, players form a party, often 4, when they go on a quest. Which 4 Minnesota Wild players, past and present, would you choose and why? For an RPG, huh? Kirill Kaprizov has to be in it for sure, past and present. I think Brunette needs to be in there somehow. So that's like a past, maybe a. Man. Yeah, Kaprizov, Brunette for sure. Those guys are in. Da 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 da. Right? Final Fantasy games. Let me think. So 4. Oh man. Oh man. My brain's stopping on me, and it's a bummer. So Brock Faber somehow might wind up in there. I think he's going to be one of them. So that's 2 current players. Now I'm going to try to get one more past. So you got 2 forwards, 1 defenseman. Might go 2 and 2 here. Just to, and obviously, see, that's another strategy, because sometimes in certain games, maybe you have, like the really early RPGs where you have like a fighter, a monk, a white mage, a black mage, or 2 red mages, where they're kind of like tweeners, which is a bad idea, because tweeners, you want somebody who specializes more so most of the time. But it's up to you what you want to do. Like a FF1 through 3, how they did that. Lord. I'm thinking defenseman. I mean, the same guy is. I'm just floating in my head nonstop. But do I really want to put him in there? Jiminy Christmas. Yeah, I'm putting Faber or Brodin for the current one. Brodin instead of Faber. Nah, Faber instead of Brodin. I'm not putting Suter or Parisi in there. No, they might be the bad guy. Okay, I'm just kidding. Suter might be a bad guy nowadays. Man, doggone it. I just can't seem to get something straight through my head here. Okay, it's Brad Bombardier. Yeah, I know, that's weird. That might be a weird pick, but I think he'd be a nice, he'd be kind of like the adult in the room, kind of helping the other. Him and Brunette would be like the adults, like the veteran guys, kind of like giving advice to the other 2 fighters or characters, whatever they are. How video games are like that. So it would be like that, you could say. So that'd be the group. Sorry, that was fun though. That was fun, and I love having a video game question in there. Next one, the Minnesota Golden Gophers men's hockey team had some of the largest crowds ever recorded in team history at Mariucci Arena a few weekends ago. Does this mean fans have finally embraced Big Ten hockey? I will say yes. Yep. It took a while, but, you kind of have to eventually. Yes. I will say yes. Obviously, like, it was at Wisconsin and all that. And, of course, you're going to get that double effect, because some Badger fans are going to travel, just like Gopher fans are going to travel to Scotty or whatever they call that place. Scotty, yay. Things like that. And obviously, there's, you got rivalries with Michigan. You got rivalries with Michigan State. Wisconsin is a given, Not so much with some of the others, maybe like a Penn State and stuff, but it's growing. And again, it takes time, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen nonetheless. I mean, you miss the old WCHA back in the good old days, but some of those teams were very far away. Obviously, Alaska Anchorage is a long ways, but it would be a cool trip if you could have the time and the money to do it. It'd be cool, even though it's Alaska in the winter. Alaska in the summer would be fantastic versus a hot, humid day. You go to Alaska where it's a little more, dry and cool, I guess, in terms of like dew point and all that. But I would say, yes, they have embraced Big Ten hockey. I think it's finally coming around, and yeah, it's exciting. Next, what is your greatest Golden Gophers hockey lineup of all time? Left wing, center, right wing, 2 defensemen, and a goaltender, and could be any current or past players. Faber and Leopold, easy choices at defense, at least for me. Easy choices for me. That could be wrong, could be Paul Martin. But I'm going to say Faber and Jordan Leopold. I mean, Jordan Leopold's career versus Paul Martin's in the NHL, I'd say Martin's a little better. Leopold was disappointing in the NHL, but he also had concussion issues. Goaltender. Oh, man, what was that? Well, there were some great ones. Just, as up and down as he was, it's just the memory is so wonderful. It was such a great memory. The fact that he held in there and got it done. I have to go with Adam Hauser, even though he's not the greatest goaltender. Okay, it's just my favorite. No, doggone it. The Golden Gophers have definitely had some great goalies. I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. Center is Mr. Well, yeah, these have to be some of the legends. Neil Broughton. Neil Broughton for sure. But yeah, Leopold in favor for me personally. Center is Broughton. Right and left wing is a little bit tougher. I might not know the correct side that they played on at times. That's the one thing. For left wing, I have to say Thomas Vanek. He was absolutely great as a gopher. So he was a left wing, so I believe. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Obviously, Neal's the center. Aaron Broughton could even be a great left wing. He was pretty good. Yeah, he was great with the Gophers. But I'll go with Vanek at the moment for the left wing. So you have center of... I'm going to go with Hauser for goalie just because of the memories. You know, I mean, he got the job done, doggone it. Man, Jimmy Snuggerdude's way up there, isn't he? But he needs to win a cup. Oh, no, that was Jimmy. That's the... No, Dave is the old veteran. And unfortunately, they didn't get it done. Oh, man, for the right wing. Best Gopher defenseman. Yeah, I mean, Eric Johnson, he was good, but I definitely liked Faber more. I mean, you got to go with Faber there. I apologize. Right wing, man, it's a toughie. Aaron Ness is up there. I mean, there's been some good ones. Blake Wheeler, center and right wing. He was more of a center, though, wasn't he? I think so. I think he was more of a center at the end of the day. So, man, it's a tough choice. Brad Boutreau, yeah, I feel bad. That guy I feel bad for. He was very good, but they just couldn't get it for him in 81. And then he had to follow up on Mr. Obviously the most legendary coach ever, basically. Herb Brooks, of course. Like, my brain's like stopping. What the heck? Herb Brooks, hello. Ness was a defenseman, wasn't he? No, he was I don't know. I get guys mixed up, and I'm losing my mind. I apologize. Right wing. Was Pat Micheletti a right winger? He was pretty damn good, wasn't he? Yeah, John Mayasich, obviously, he's the all-time leading scorer. He's a legend. We all know that. Apologize I'm taking so long. But, I mean, I like the history of some of, I like looking at history, so I'm enjoying this more than I might be sounding confused and disoriented here at the moment. Micheletti was number 2 all-time in scoring. It's too bad he had, he got hurt really bad, whatever. It's kind of small for the NHL, too. But, I don't know. I mean, Neil Broad was a pretty short guy, even, and he was pretty damn successful. Pat Micheletti was a center, so no. Doggone it. He was a center. Yeah. So, yeah, only two goals for the North Stars, and he was all busted up or whatever. That just sucks. Joe Micheletti, great defenseman. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a hell of a defenseman. But it's so long ago, obviously. Doggone it. Yeah, Pat Micheletti never got a natty. He was in the early 80s, so there was that. I'm having a heck of a time with the right wing. I'll probably have to get back with you on that one. But that was fun, though. I appreciate the question in a big way. I'm having a hell of a time with the right wing, and I don't know what the heck. So, I mean, I'll just, you could pretend maybe like a Johnny Pohl or a Neil or Aaron Broughton kind of joining them up there. Something along those lines. So, my apologies. I'm kind of struggling with the right wing. Everybody played this. Everybody played that. Like, it's like a million centers. They don't even say if they shot right or left in some of these, so that's the frustrating part. So obviously you can move a guy to a wing from a center position, so I'll just imagine like a Troy Riddle, somebody like that at the right wing, or like a Aaron Broughton, somebody along those lines. But an amazing fun question. I really appreciate it. Jay Bushy playing the Greg Gagne role here. What's the likelihood of Hartman getting his suspension reduced? I would say slim to none, because I think he's been too much of an issue. Yep, and DJD says the same exact thing, slim to none. So, agree with you there. See if I can give them a follow. Hopefully they follow back. We'll see what happens. But with that, I better wrap things up here. Been digging around a lot. So, thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Shout outs to MNW Young Guns / MNW Prospects. Bubble Burnett, Justin Bakke, really appreciate you. Minnesota Wild Global, Scott Cavendish, Kathy Main, David Abraham, David and Chance Kostick, Michael Fick, Chad Wolski, really appreciate all of you so very much. Patrick Turner also does the Minnesota Wild Nation. Of course, DraftKings. The Hockey Podcast Network, THPN. Really appreciate you guys, Dylan and Kyle. So with that said, thank you everybody so much. Share the show like you have been. We'll keep things going. I don't mind doing these little short shows. They're fun. It gives me a little time to do things in the morning and doing the show as well. So, and obviously, getting the show done and keeping up with the prospects and, previewing the games coming into next week. We'll be back in a week. Take care and God bless.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.